Hello and welcome to this edition of Customer Spotlight. I'm Rob Collins, President of BluTec Machinery and Service, where your success is our priority. Hello, we're here today with David Smith, President of Mechanical Specialty. David, could you share with us the history of Mechanical Specialty?
Sure, Rob. Mechanical Specialty was founded in 1947. It was founded by Joseph Smith, my grandfather. He started the business in a chicken house. That was really the only building he had. And he got some older lathes and he had some really good ideas. They mainly worked on textile equipment at that time, and he had a few patents and stuff. He worked out of there for probably 3 or 4 years and made some good headway, and ended up purchasing the land and built the building that we're in now. My father, Ronald Smith, worked along with him during this time as well, and they both came up with inventions and patents, mainly, like I said, for textiles. When I came on board, I'm 50 years old now, so I've worked up here probably since I was 13, and I came on board full-time in 1992 after I graduated from NC State. My grandfather was still here, and my father was still here as well. They let me pretty much start running the business when I was 25. My father was sick, and my grandfather was getting on up in age. And I wasn't so much as interested as they were as doing the patents and inventions and stuff like that as I was as to just trying to make parts for people and trying to be as competitive as I could, and trying to maximize my production in that sort of way. When I came on board in 1992, full-time, after I graduated from college, we didn't have any type of CNC equipment here at all, and we were competing with people that did. So I was taught how to run all the manual equipment we had here and how to think a little bit differently to try to compete with people that had CNC equipment. And we did that very well, but then once I figured out, how much easier it was to run a CNC piece of equipment, we started purchasing some. The first machine that we purchased was a lathe, and we still have it now. It's just a standard job shop CNC lathe. And in order to get that machine, my grandfather had me purchase 10% of the business, or he wasn't going to get the machine. So I did that, and then a couple years later decided I needed to get a milling machine. So we purchased a milling machine. That was around 2000, I would say, and that's whenever I purchased the remainder of the stock from my grandfather. So my father had passed away in '99, my grandfather passed away in 2001, and I knew I was pretty much on my own. So I started, as much as I could, I would try to take on as much business as I could. We were doing work for Level or Home Fashions. We were building the machines that cut mini blinds in the stores to length. If you go into a store and you want a mini blind cut to length, and we manufactured those, and they would go inside of Lowe's Home Improvements. So that really helped catapult myself and Mechanical Specialty to where we could, long term, we had this job for probably 10 years. Long term, it really helped us out quite a bit with finances to where we could continuously buy more equipment, and it gave us the work to put on the machines that we were purchasing. And then we branched out. Once they went away from the manual machine, they went to an automated company, and so we got into fab then, and that was around 2010. We purchased a laser cutter. It was a CO2 laser. I think it was a 3,000 watt. It's an NTC. We also purchased a press brake, an AccuPress press brake. And that put us in the fab world, and since then we've been doing machine work and fab work as much as we can for whoever we can. We do design work.
So David, you're third generation with Mechanical Specialty, and I understand that you have a fourth generation coming along in the business as well. Could you tell us some about that?
Yes, sir. I've got 2 of my children. I've got 4 children. Caldwell and Elaine have been working this summer with me, and they've worked in summers in the past, but this summer I call them the dream team, and this summer we've taken on the challenge of taking SolidWorks together. We all 3 took SolidWorks, and I kind of set them loose and let them design whatever they wanted to design, and we would manufacture it here. Had a lot of fun with them and enjoyed seeing them develop and grow and their interest in it, and it's pretty crazy what children can come up with.
We're the design team at Mechanical Specialty. What we do is a lot of prototypes. We'll take something that we've come up with, some sort of idea, and we'll transfer it into a sketch on the computer, make it into a 3D model, and then often we'll 3D print it, such as this 3D printed table.
Another example of what we've done is you start out with a 3D printed design and you'll go through different designs and see which works. And after we come to one that we like, then we'll cut it out on the laser cutter and get our final design. Our major project this summer has been the tension table. We started out with a prototype, printed out on the 3D printer, and then we just kind of took inspiration from this and made our own design.
Our new design is stainless steel, and it's got a few little knickknacks here and there that the 3D printed design doesn't have, such as these turnbuckle pieces to tighten up the cable and reinforcement with gussets. So this is our tension table prototype, and it's made out of steel that is then powder coated with a clear powder coat. So we cut out these top and bottom plates on the laser cutter, and the top one, as you'll see, has bends that are formed up in the press brake. Then we take the square tubing, 1 inch square, and we saw it and then weld it so that it makes this shape that's supporting this central cable. The cables are held on by crimping on this end, on these long pieces, and both ends on this shorter piece. Then on the long piece, it's tightened with the turnbuckle horizontally on the top member. That way it looks elegant and you can't see any of the fastening. So it kind of boggles you how it's staying up.
Mechanical Specialty has 2 locations. One of them's on Wendover Avenue, the original location. It's 1901 East Wendover. It's around 20,000 square feet, and it's largely machine shop and laser cutters and press brakes. The other location is on Lindsay Street. It's about a half mile away. It's 1034 Lindsay Street in Greensboro. And it houses our water jet and mainly welding over there, as well as Panel Pros is over there as well. We have a UL panel shop that I'm part owner of.
Panel Pros is a UL 508 panel shop. We build for the integration business, OEM markets, and manufacturing plants. We provide electrical control panels for the automation industry that controls machinery, senses equipment, processing equipment. We are a turnkey panel shop for all industries. Our biggest part of our niche in the market is providing the UL 508 code. Our main objective is to make sure the equipment is safe, that is safe for the personnel operating the equipment and plant management.
We can pretty much do anything that you want to do within reason of size. We've got 2 engine lathes, we've got 4 hybrid milling machines that are prototrack style. We've got 4 small hard-inch turret lathes, small screw machines. We have 4 of the small machinist lathes as well. We have 1 CNC lathe, and we have 5 CNC mills. One of them is a boxway mill. The others are linear ways. We have a 14 by 48 grinder for surface grinding, and hones. We have time-saving sander, and just everything that you could have in a machine shop that started in 1947. We got drills this big.
That's great. That's great. Now, recently, David, you've expanded your fabrication division with Mitsubishi Laser, and I'd like for you to share some thoughts there on that, as well as your other fabrication capabilities.
Okay. Well, we had 2 CO2 lasers. We had purchased a Mitsubishi CO2 laser that was a refurb probably about 3 or 4 years ago. we decided to step it up into the fiber world, and so we just recently have purchased a 6,000 watt fiber laser, a Mitsubishi fiber laser. We did that to try to get on the cutting edge of technology and try to be able to compete as much as we can with anybody that comes our way that we have to compete with. It's been a pretty special machine for us. We kept one of the CO2 lasers so that we could still process plastic and other materials that the fiber laser can't cut. We have 2 press brakes. One's a hydraulic AccuPress press brake. It's a 10-foot, 130-ton press brake. We also have an electric press brake as well, servo-driven. It's super accurate, and it's a year old, and I believe it's a 6-foot, 80-ton press brake. We have a water jet that we've been able to cut 5.5-inch thick steel plate with. It runs an abrasive along with 90,000 PSI, which I believe is one of the largest pumps that you can have on a water jet. And it can cut out shapes and do a real nice job. It won't heat treat the part or anything like that on the outside when you're profiling something. We also have 2 large 4x8 welding tables that have the pin lockdowns on them. And we do TIG and MIG, stainless steel, aluminum, or steel welding. And we have a roll as well that's a 5-foot wide. I believe it can form around 5/16 to 3/8 thick plate, and so you can make rings and that sort of thing. So we have a lot of variety of equipment at Mechanical Specialty that can really do most anything anybody would want. I've been in situations in the past where I didn't have all this equipment. I had to outsource this and outsource that, but since we've been able to do fairly well in business, I've tried to make us to where we're kind of a standalone place as much as possible.
And David, you've also invested in quality control, and I believe you have some equipment that helps you in the QC department as well.
Yes, sir, we do. We have a CMM that's super accurate. It measures into the tenths. We also have a vision system that you can lay a part on, let's say from the laser cutter or the water jet for that matter, and you can lay the part onto the table, and it's probably about a 3x4 span, and it uses light and it measures the part, and it can produce a report. And it measures within the thickness of a piece of paper, plus or minus 3 thousandths. So the thickness of a piece of paper, and this thing will scan the part within 2 seconds. It can tell you if there's anything wrong with that part. Then you can go back and you can correct it, at your machine by changing your offset or whatnot, and then you can produce another part and check it again. So it's really good not to, if you left something out of the part, let's say it didn't cut the hole or the hole's in the wrong place, or let's say you had to redraw a drawing for somebody to make the part, it can really help protect you. And you can produce a report as well for the customer, and it gives them a good feeling about what they're getting. I've really enjoyed working with Rob Collins and Robert Mann. I've known Robert for a long time, and he started working with Mr. Collins, and BluTec has really been beneficial and easy to deal with, and I'm very pleased with the machines and equipment that we purchased through BluTec.